Hey there, it's Clay. Today we're going to be talking about panic after a breakup, what this is, why it happens, and why it's really important that you get this handled if you want to actually get back together with your ex or, really even have a great relationship moving forward with someone else. But first, once again, my name is Clay with Modern Love Life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, please do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up and by subscribing to this channel if you're not already subscribed. Also, I did want to let you know that we do have a course to help you get through the emotional challenges of a breakup and set you up to either be in a better place to connect better with your ex or to actually set you up to move on and create a new relationship with someone else, whatever that might look like for you. But it does go through these deeper levels of emotional connection and all that. Currently, it is named the Compatibility Code. I am considering changing the name of it to Emotional Freedom. So depending on when you watch this video, it might have a different name. But that's what it is. We don't talk about it too much because honestly, most people just want to know how to get back together with their ex, and they're not really as focused on this deeper work, but it is an important thing that I probably should be bringing up a little bit more often. So if you want to learn more about that, there's a link to the Compatibility Code / Emotional Freedom down below in the description box. Anyway, you may notice that things look a little bit different here today. That's because we did paint the at least part of the house, including my new office, which is no longer a pink room. It's now this nice, cool grayish color. In case you're curious, it's Sherwin-Williams color Reflection. But I'm trying to figure things out a little bit, trying to get the lighting situation going and all that. I'll probably put some stuff up on the walls at some point. But yeah, I want to kind of actually create like a nice backdrop for these videos. In the past, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been kind of bouncing between, co-working spaces and then, working during lockdown in the place we used to live. So it was all just kind of like crammed into like this little room. And, we just weren't sure what was going to happen. And we knew we wanted to move at some point, but now we finally did. So now I finally have a consistent, stable office that I'll be keeping for a while. And now I can finally start getting it right. But anyway, today we're talking about panic after a breakup, how this affects the process of getting back together, and how we can start to change this and improve things for the better. So, it should come as no surprise to most of you that we do go through this panic period often when we go through a breakup. And inside our little community, we call this damage control mode, where you're in this panicked state. You feel compelled to maybe message your ex way too often. You feel compelled to beg, to plead, or something like that. Or you might even feel compelled to, do something else externally to try to make things seem better, like hop into a rebound relationship, just try to get into a relationship with anyone, because you want to tick the box, or because you feel this impending time pressure to, get married before you hit a certain number on your age, or have children before you get a certain number on your age. And, of course, there are biological considerations. I'm not going to lie about that. But if you're just trying to make it happen so that it can happen, that's not really the best place emotionally to be starting a relationship. And so it's important that we get our mind straight before we move into a relationship, sort of frame. And so whether you're trying to get back together with your ex or whether you're trying to move on from your ex, it really is important to make sure that you are, at least for the most part, content with your own life. Not that you're complacent with it, or that you're completely satisfied or completely self-actualized with your own life, but that, you actually enjoy your life to a certain degree. I get it. You're going through a breakup. You're probably not like super happy or anything, but you should be in this place, ideally, where you're doing something that's meaningful and fulfilling to you and interesting to you. This is going to allow you to live more into your values, which is going to help you to either come across better with your ex or to actually draw to you people who are in alignment with your own values and see that you're going somewhere in life and all of that. Like, we don't want to use someone else. We don't want to use someone, a partner or an ex, a relationship or something like that, as something that's going to prop us up emotionally. It should simply be the icing on the cake of an already amazing, wonderful life. And if you can get to that place, that would be obviously ideal. So you may need to do certain things to get through this panicked state. You may need to do certain things such as, grounding yourself out, doing certain things like keeping that BS machine in check. In our little community here, we refer to that part of your brain that jumps to worst case scenario thoughts and worst case scenario conclusions and all of that as your BS machine, because it rushes in and fills in the blanks of your experience, like, why did your ex do this? Why did they do that? How could they give up so easily? And it rushes in and fills in the blanks with, our own fears, insecurities, anxieties in many cases. Like, oh, they did this because obviously they didn't care about our relationship. Obviously, they're just moving on so much better. Obviously, I'm replaceable to them. They never loved me or whatever. It's not to say that those things may not be true, but we want to actually stop and evaluate them before we just assume that they're true. I know that oftentimes people think that assuming the worst is realistic, but it's not really realistic. It's obviously pessimistic. And so what I want you to do is I want you to keep that BS machine in check and keep yourself from jumping to conclusions prematurely, okay? Let's see. Additionally, what we want to do is we want to release the past. We want to release everything that we experienced as the result of our previous relationship and our breakup. Because again, even if you're getting back into a relationship with the same person, you can't view it as just a continuation of what you had before. You have to view it as a completely new relationship. In order to do that, you need to let go of the past, let go of all the pain, the baggage, the hurt, everything else that you may have experienced in the past, because that's going to stop you from being able to actually come together and create something fresh, authentic, and in the present moment, even if you're with the same person. Obviously you don't want to be bringing past relationship stuff into a relationship with someone new. That's a setup for a rebound relationship, right? We have a whole playlist on rebound relationships right up there. But you don't want to be doing this with your ex as well too, because it's totally possible to have a rebound relationship with the same person. It's totally possible to have a rebound relationship with the person that you're going through a breakup with right now. And that's entirely dependent on how you're dealing with your emotions. If you are looking for them, looking for the idea, looking for the concept of being together, of being in a relationship, of not having this failed relationship behind you as some sort of ideal, rather than actually organically connecting with this other person, then you're more in a relationship with the idea than you are with the actual person. And that's a prime setup for a rebound relationship, whether that is, the ex that you're going through a breakup with, or whether that is with someone else. Obviously, I'm not a fan of rebound relationships, so I would recommend that you get your emotional house in order by releasing the pain, releasing the hurt, releasing any feelings of rejection, or what it means about you to have gone through a breakup, what it means about you to have lost a relationship or anything like that. I mean, I know that me and my big ex that I was with for 7 years, we were high school sweethearts, and I was kind of hung up on this identity that I had of like, oh yeah, we're the ones that are going to make it work. We're the ones that are, gonna have this relationship, and I'm gonna get this whole relationship thing figured out and handled properly. Because my parents were divorced, and I wanted to be able to have a good, solid relationship. And so I was kind of attached to this idea, this identity of like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna, okay, sure, I dated a couple like little romantic things going on in my early days of my high school. But, when I got together with my big ex, it was my first real relationship. And that was something that I wanted to hold on to. I wanted to say like, okay, yeah, my first real relationship, we made it. And I had to let go of that. I had to let go of that idea, that identity, in order to truly free myself, in order to have a new organic relationship that wasn't based off the past, that wasn't just a rebound of the past relationship. So it is important to take care of this stuff. It is important to look at this stuff. It is important to work through this stuff. I know it's not as interesting or as I don't know, sexy or whatever as figuring out text messages to send or over analyzing text message screenshots or whatever. But this is, the 80-20 of making a relationship work. Yeah, we can spend a lot of time on looking at what did that emoji mean when they said that? Why did it take them an extra hour to reply when usually they reply in 15 minutes or something? And honestly, very rarely will we find anything meaningful from that sort of analysis. But what is powerful is looking at how you're bringing yourself to the relationship. If you are in that damage control state of mind, if you are in that panic state of mind, if you are really looking for a relationship to prop you up emotionally and to actually be the cake of your life rather than the icing on the cake of an already amazing life, then that's something that we need to start working through, okay? And the compatibility code, in my opinion, is a great way to start working through that. And once again, if you want to check that out, there's a link to it down in the description box below this video. But once again, this is Clay coming at you from my new gray reflection colored home office. I hope you like this video. If you do, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It does help us out with the YouTube algorithm. It helps to send a message to YouTube that these are nice videos that they might want to, show to more people. So help trigger that YouTube algorithm if you like this channel by hitting that thumbs up button and by subscribing to the channel if you're not already. And once again, if you do want to learn more about rebound relationships, we have this video series right here, or you might want to check out this video here. Thank you so much. Please have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.